Hey 49ers faithful, welcome back to the channel, your exclusive source for all things San Francisco 49ers. Before we dive into the latest updates, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash the like. Trust me, you don't want to miss any breaking news, player insights, or deep dives as we head through this season. Now, let's get into it. This 49ers team we're watching right now, especially in the John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan era, this might just be one of the thinnest rosters we've seen. It's not a rebuilding year, per se. They still expect to compete and make the playoffs, but the depth isn't quite there. We've seen some of the backup players, guys you consider second or third string, step up in practice games and even hold their own against starters from the Broncos. That's a promising sign, because when the starters are healthy and the backups who performed well slide into their roles behind them, it could really shore up some of those depth issues that have worried fans. Now, let's start with some winners from the Broncos matchup. First up, M. Jones. Right off the bat, in the very first drive of the game, just a few plays in, it's third and medium distance, and Jones drops back and unleashes a beautiful, precise 50-yard strike to rookie wide receiver Jordan Watkins. It was the kind of throw you want to see from a developing quarterback, confident, sharp, and perfectly timed with the receiver's route. The pocket wasn't collapsing, but you could see a defender falling towards Jones' feet, which can naturally make a quarterback hesitate or shift position. But Jones stood tall, kept his eyes downfield, and delivered the ball in stride. Watkins made the catch and then turned on the Jets to pick up even more yards after the catch. And just to cap it off, it was Taylor Nufonga who made a touchdown-saving tackle to stop the run. That throw right there, that was pure execution and patience under pressure. Now, I know Jones did throw interception later on, and a lot of people might point fingers at him, but context is everything. When we were doing a live watch party, I said I was going to mark that pick as a bad throw. I thought he threw the ball low and inside, which on out route near the boundary is usually a mistake because you want to throw high and away to protect the receiver. But Kyle Shanahan cleared that up after the game, saying while Watkins made the great 50-yard catch, on that interception play Watkins ran a bad route. He said Watkins was lazy in his cut and depth on the route wasn't right, which left the ball vulnerable. So, that pick wasn't entirely on Jones. Overall, when you compare Jones to last year's backup quarterbacks, Joshua Dobbs and Brandon Allen, this is a clear upgrade. And honestly, Brandon Allen should never have started a game over Dobbs. Dobbs did some good things as a backup, but Jones shows more promise, especially considering what he did at Alabama and glimpses we've seen at the NFL level. If he has to step in as a starter for Shanahan's offense, I think he could be solid, reliable, and maybe even surprising. Now, let's talk more about that rookie wide receiver who caught that deep ball, Jordan Watkins. Man, this guy has something special. That 50-yard reception wasn't just about distance. It showed his speed, route running, and ball tracking ability. In the pre-draft process, Watkins was clocked running in the 4.3-second range in the 40-yard dash. But what really sets him apart isn't just raw speed. It's how well he tracks the ball in the air. You could be the fastest guy in the league, but if you can't track the ball and make the catch, speed doesn't mean much. Watkins has that center fielder quality. He reads the ball perfectly and adjusts to it, which is huge for a deep threat receiver. What's exciting is how physical he is, too. In the joint practices against the Broncos, he had a one-on-one win where he used his speed and hand-fighting skills to create separation for a touchdown catch. And last night, you saw more of that physicality. He absorbed contact, came down with contested 50-50 balls, and picked up yards after the catch. He's got a strong lower body, which helps him break tackles and pick up what coaches call yards after contact. What I'd love to see from Shanahan's playbook is to get Watkins involved in some shallow and deep crossing routes where he can operate in space. When you have a receiver who can take the top off the defense like that, wherever he lines up, the safety has to shade his way, which opens up real estate underneath for other playmakers. It's been a while since the Niners have had a true vertical threat with that kind of all-around speed and skill. That said, Watkins is still a rookie, and that bad route running that led to Jones' interception is the kind of learning curve he needs to overcome if he wants to earn full trust from the coaching staff and the quarterback. Because if he keeps making those mistakes, Shanahan won't feel comfortable putting him on the field in critical moments. You can't afford costly turnovers or blown coverages. And quarterbacks hesitate if they don't trust their receivers to run crisp routes, especially when the team is moving down the field trying to score. But overall, the potential is there, and I'm really excited about what Watkins could become. Another big winner from last night was Junior Bergen. Now, I'll be honest, he had a drop as a wide receiver, but let's be clear, the 49ers didn't draft Bergen to be a wideout. Kyle Shanahan was very upfront after the draft that Bergen was brought in as a punt return specialist. And that's a role where the team can get a lot of hidden value if the guy can make plays in the return game. And Bergen did just that, with a jaw-dropping 28-yard punt return that showcased his elite return skills. For those who aren't familiar, Bergen played at Montana, and he has a very special pedigree. His dad is Brant Poyer's son, the 49ers special teams coordinator, so there's a family connection to the game and the team. Bergen was one of the most productive punt returners in FCS history, scoring 6 or 7 punt return touchdowns in his college career. The move he made last night, catching the punt cleanly, making a defender miss with a filthy juke, reversing field, then cutting it upfield to gain 28 yards, was pure magic. It's been years since the 49ers have had a punt return touchdown, maybe close to a decade, and Bergen's ability to change the game in that area could be a real difference maker. The skill of returning punts is underrated and incredibly difficult, especially when you have guys running downfield at full speed trying to stop you. Bergen's ability to catch, evade tackles, and then use his speed to turn the corner and take it upfield is exactly why the 49ers spent a draft pick on him, even if it was a late-round pick. Special teams can win or lose games, and a guy like Bergen brings that explosiveness and game-changing potential to the unit. Speaking of energy and tenacity, Chase Lucas might have been the biggest winner on defense last night. Shanahan himself called him the 49ers Energizer Bunny, and that's exactly how he played everywhere on the field with relentless speed, energy, and toughness. He logged 32 coverage snaps, was targeted 8 times, gave up just 31 yards with no touchdowns allowed, and even had a pass breakup. According to PFF, he earned a 70.5 coverage grade and an 80.7 passer rating allowed when targeted. Solid numbers for a guy who's mostly been a career special teams contributor and a slot corner. With some veterans like Demoroderick Lenoir and Renardo Green on the outside, and rookie Upton Stout dealing with a calf injury in the slot, having a guy like Chase Lucas who can fill multiple roles and make plays on defense and special teams is vital. His 3 pressures when blitzing last night showed he can be a disruptive force. I think Lucas earned a roster spot with that kind of performance. Now, let's shift to the defensive line and talk about Sebastian Valdez, a guy I spotlighted back in June as a potential hidden gem. This undrafted free agent from Washington has been quietly impressing coaches with his strength, explosiveness, and violent play at the line of scrimmage. Last night, he played 32 snaps, recording 4 tackles, 2 solo, 1 pressure, a half sack, and 3 stops. You could see his quick get off the snap and his ability to use violent hands to slip between blockers and collapse the pocket. Kyle Shanahan even mentioned that Valdez has been flashing a lot in practice and looked like a problem for offensive linemen. Valdez provides important depth at defensive tackle for a team that doesn't have a lot of room to spare on the D-line. With key players like Kevin Givens out for a while, and others like C.J. West, Alfred Collins, and Kalia Davis competing for roster spots, Valdez's production and upside make a strong case for him to be the 6th defensive tackle on the roster. I personally would prefer to keep him over some veterans who might not have the same upside. And while we're on defensive tackles, Kalia Davis also deserves praise. He looked explosive and disruptive last night, showing the kind of stocky power and quickness that made the Niners draft him in the 6th round. If he can stay healthy, Davis could carve out a significant role. Both C.J. West and Alfred Collins, rookies taken in the 2nd and 4th rounds respectively, played a combined 32 pass rush snaps, but didn't register any pressures according to PFF. That said, pressures don't tell the whole story. Both disrupted the pocket at times, collapsing the quarterback and forcing him off his spot, which are hugely impactful even if they don't show up in the stat sheet as pressures or sacks. In practice, West in particular has flashed the ability to be a disruptive force. These two look like NFL-caliber players, and their continued development will be key to the Niners' defensive success. Another young defender who caught my eye is Tatum Bethune, a seventh-round pick out of Florida State last year. He looks like a legitimate NFL player at the middle linebacker spot and could serve as a reliable backup to Fred Warner. Plus, he's a solid special teams contributor. Similarly, Stone Blandon, an undrafted free agent linebacker from Mississippi State, is making noise with his instincts and ball production. The Niners invested roughly $200,000 in him, which shows they see real potential, similar to what they did with Evan Anderson last year. Now, moving on to some players who struggled. Nick Martin, the third-round linebacker, had a rough night. He's fast, really fast, and that's been his calling card, flying to the ball and making plays in the past. His speed makes him a potential future starter if he can clean up some of the issues. But last night, he missed several tackles, 3 in total, according to PFF. Missed tackles kill drives and momentum, and that's something Martin must correct quickly if he wants to earn more playing time. Shanahan called him a work in progress, and I agree. He has the tools, but needs to sharpen his fundamentals. The same goes for other young players on special teams who had drops or miscommunications, like Thomas Fletcher, the rookie kicker who missed 2 extra points last night. He's been inconsistent in camp, and with the Niners already cutting veteran kickers, Fletcher needs to get right fast if he wants to stick on the roster. And there's linebacker Rocky Pierre. The coaches have been high on him in practice, but in the game, he struggled to get off blocks and failed to make key tackles in space. Shanahan acknowledged that Pierre is a raw player who needs more time and reps to develop. Finally, I want to touch on some veterans and older players who might be at risk of losing their spots. Guys like Trey Marshall at safety, who played solidly but not spectacularly, or Lance Hurdle, who's battling injuries and inconsistency. The Niners are clearly leaning toward youth and potential overexperience this year, which makes competition fierce. So what's the big picture here? The 49ers have a team that's trying to blend young talent with veterans, and the success of this season depends a lot on how those young players develop and contribute. Backup quarterbacks like M. Jones could become reliable options. Rookie receivers like Watkins bring new excitement and vertical threat potential. Special teams players like Junior Bergen can flip field position and change games. Defensive players like Chase Lucas and Sebastian Valdez bring energy and depth that could be vital. This is a team with serious playoff aspirations, but also one with some clear holes and questions. Shanahan and Lynch are building for sustained success, but they have to balance the short-term goal of winning now with the long-term need to develop young players and maintain roster flexibility. Stay tuned to this channel as I keep breaking down every practice, every preseason game, and every roster move. We're all in this together, 49ers Nation, and I'm here to bring you the inside scoop, honest takes, and deep analysis all season long. All right, 49ers fans, now that we've covered some of the key players and early standouts, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what this team looks like moving forward. There's so much happening behind the scenes that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, but will definitely affect how the season unfolds. One of the biggest talking points right now is the quarterback situation. We touched on M. Jones earlier, and while he's shown flashes of promise, the reality is that the 49ers still heavily rely on Trey Lance as the starting quarterback when healthy. Lance's unique skill set, that rare combination of arm strength, mobility, and vision, gives Shanahan the kind of offensive versatility most teams dream of. But the problem is injuries. Lance has been battling health issues for parts of last season and the preseason, and that inconsistency on the field has made the 49ers cautious about how they use him. This is where M. Jones' development becomes crucial. Shanahan is clearly investing time in Jones, not only as a backup, but as a potential future starter. That's a big deal because the 49ers haven't had a truly reliable backup quarterback in years. When Jimmy Garoppolo got injured in the 2019 season, the team struggled mightily behind him. Since then, they've cycled through backups who either didn't inspire confidence or simply weren't ready. Jones is different. He's a guy who looks comfortable in the pocket, shows a quick release, and don't forget about rookie running backs like Nathaniel Pete. He's an undrafted free agent who's been turning heads with his quickness and pass protection. In practice, coaches have praised Pete's effort and his ability to learn the playbook quickly. For a young player trying to make the roster, being a solid blocker and special teams contributor is critical. Pete has been running with the scout team, but has shown enough flashes that he might be a candidate for the practice squad or even an active roster spot if injuries hit. Rumors have begun swirling in the NFL community as sources suggest the San Francisco 49ers are on the verge of a major acquisition that could reshape their defensive line for years to come. The buzz centers on Danielle Hunter, a dominant defensive end known for his relentless pressure on quarterbacks and his ability to disrupt offenses. While no official announcement has been made, insiders claim that the 49ers see Hunter as the perfect piece to elevate their defense from strong to elite. This potential signing has already generated excitement among fans and analysts who believe Hunter's presence could dramatically improve San Francisco's pass rush. The 49ers have been searching for that extra edge to complement their already talented roster, and Hunter's name keeps coming up as a target. Although the deal is not yet confirmed, the ongoing talks and interest highlight how the franchise is determined to maintain dominance in the NFC West. With Hunter's proven track record of sacks and tackles for loss, the team's defensive coordinator is expected to unleash new strategies that maximize his disruptive skills. Should this acquisition materialize, it would signal a significant statement from San Francisco, signaling their intent to contend for the championship in the upcoming seasons. As the NFL offseason progresses, the potential signing of Danielle Hunter by the 49ers has sparked intense speculation about the team's defensive strategy and long-term plans. Hunter, who has been one of the league's most feared pass rushers over recent years, could provide San Francisco with the consistency and explosive playmaking ability they have sought. Sources close to the situation suggest that the 49ers are preparing to offer Hunter a lucrative contract to entice him away from his current team. The possibility of Hunter joining a defense already rich with talent has led to discussions about how the team might realign its defensive front to accommodate his strengths. Rumors indicate that the 49ers coaching staff has been studying Hunter's game film extensively, crafting potential game plans that leverage his speed, strength, and agility to disrupt opposing quarterbacks. Additionally, speculation surrounds how this signing could impact the locker room dynamic, with many insiders believing Hunter's leadership and competitive nature will be a valuable asset. Though nothing is finalized, the prospect of Hunter in a 49ers uniform has fans buzzing and experts weighing in on the potential ripple effects across the league. The potential addition of Danielle Hunter to the San Francisco 49ers has become a hot topic among NFL insiders, who suggest this move could significantly alter the balance of power in the NFC. Hunter's reputation as a relentless and technically gifted defensive end makes him a coveted asset, and the 49ers appear poised to make a bold statement by securing his services. According to whispers in the league, the negotiations are advanced, with Hunter's camp reportedly impressed by San Francisco's vision and commitment to building a championship-caliber defense. Analysts are speculating on how Hunter's presence might affect the team's overall defensive statistics, potentially increasing sack totals and quarterback pressures dramatically. The idea that Hunter could join forces with the 49ers' existing defensive stars has fueled speculation about an even more aggressive pass rush scheme. Meanwhile, some insiders suggest that this move could force rival teams to rethink their offensive game plans when facing San Francisco, anticipating a defense that could overpower and intimidate. Although no official confirmation exists yet, the growing consensus is that this acquisition could herald a new era of defensive dominance for the 49ers, making them a favorite in the NFL's toughest divisions. Among fans and commentators, the rumor of Danielle Hunter heading to the San Francisco 49ers has sparked lively debate about the future trajectory of the franchise. Many are intrigued by how Hunter's skill set fits into the 49ers' defensive philosophy, which emphasizes speed and versatility. Reports indicate that the team's front office views this potential signing as a way to not only improve their pass rush, but also to add veteran experience to a relatively young defensive lineup. There is talk that Hunter's ability to perform in high-pressure situations and his knack for game-changing plays could provide the 49ers with a new level of confidence on defense. Observers note that this move, if completed, could influence the draft strategy, as the team might prioritize different positions knowing their defensive line is solidified. Moreover, speculation surrounds Hunter's impact beyond the field, as his professionalism and work ethic are seen as positive influences for developing players. Although the buzz is still centered on possibilities, the 49ers appear to be positioning themselves for a substantial upgrade that could reverberate through the NFL landscape for seasons to come. Speculation continues to mount regarding the San Francisco 49ers' pursuit of Danielle Hunter, with many insiders suggesting that this rumored acquisition could be a game-changer for the franchise's defensive ambitions. The potential addition of Hunter, known for his explosive first step and relentless motor, fits the profile of a player who can elevate a defense from good to great. Sources close to the negotiations hint that the 49ers are willing to make significant financial commitments to bring Hunter aboard, signaling the importance they place on fortifying their defense. Enthusiasts speculate on how this signing might alter the competitive dynamics within the NFC West, potentially challenging the dominance of divisional rivals. The prospect of Hunter's disruptive style blending with San Francisco's defensive scheme has sparked tactical analyses among experts, predicting that opposing offenses might struggle to find answers against such pressure. Additionally, there is talk that Hunter's leadership and experience in playoff environments could serve as a catalyst for the 49ers' postseason aspirations. While the official word remains pending, the ongoing chatter and mounting anticipation suggest that this possible move could shape the narrative of the next NFL season, keeping fans and pundits eagerly watching for confirmation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.